Noise, sing then.
Noisy space, sing.
Sing then, noisy space, sing.
Then of violence.
And disappearance.
Of violence, disappearance.
What is missed off?
Unworthy of notice.
Missed off,
Missed off.
of notice.
Species noise.
Noise of wing beat. Over.
Species noise.
Species noise.
Looked, overlooking.
As just that. Noise.
Noise,
Sing
sing
again.
Through a layer of frozen water, or reading words whose letters keep growing sharp branches until every sentence is a thicket, running a finger along these sentences down the lines and catching skin, cutting it. A little blood, ink, water. I'll try to explain.
Salt glazed and smashed up in the clag, these gurning, grinning vessels, spell bottles, mystical, drink deep and find your inner woodrose. A complete scarce but the holy grail. Keep an eye out, there, as easy as knowing what you're looking for, to reveal at least one shard. Sometimes we are lucky, she adds, but sometimes is Victorian. Planets, speak born warm, for the full tide, season at the change, frost as triangular ellipsis, colon invisible, dull, more talk than work, snow or rain or other shoes and boots meet the empty, cross to some snow, star as much, snow errata, guess of thunder, brisk winds, a storm follows, full, tidal, serene, calm, not serene, strike from top left to bottom right, cold, the gesture of a waxing moon, no alignment. Notate a horizontal crest, 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 surge crest, twice over until dash. Notate a horizontal serene, an indication of serene or fog inverted, twice over until crest, dash, or sleep the planets, crest to notate serene, inverted, invisible.
Would hunch over a carcass, or a physician would inspect a cadaver. We are ensnared and encircled by the suggestion of a room conjured by the curtains, antithetical to the drawing away of plush red velvet that reveals an unseen audience and instead traps us here, unobserved and unbound from time, as you lean forward to inspect an explosion of roses. Disquietingly concrete in their protrusion from a skeletal impression of a vase, by far too domestic to exist and too corrupt, too corrosive not to, as the golden ripples of the hangings fold into the mottled beige of your neck, stillness is torn asunder into a plague.
Radar tracks weather and ignores insects until a small group of scientists begins to interpret the data differently. Desire is distributed among those in profit. The rest hunker down until violence erupts. Immediate effects of pesticides on insect food eaten by corn buntings enter without singing. The effects of eating this insect food on chick mass and nest survival are found center stage. The lighting is important here. Linkages proliferate beyond diagrams. Akis is seeking Galatea when he should be looking for Rachel Carson, Naomi Klein, Anna Singh, and Elizabeth Colbert. Someone holds up a sign, but it's apparently difficult to change direction without a loss to big business, which nobody likes. The sound of brass section, the key partridge, the grey partridge demonstrates the effects of pesticides for many. Someone does a little dance, but this is hard to follow in terms of the context exactly. It might be an advert for Shell, or it could be a protest against their involvement in the production, but it's hard to tell.
Nimbus. Nubiform, vaporous, puffy, aerosolic droplets, dense overhead. Clear Blue, which is a erasure poem made from the instruction manual of a pregnancy test, which I found on my bedroom floor, in true Tracy Emin style. Clear Blue, expected foil, blue away, absorbent stream, wet. Take care, only wish, you may wish. And then I'm going to read Sepia. Sepia. Confetti plus horseshoe smiles, beaming bare skin. If love exists, it's in this photo. And I'm right there, in my grandmother's womb.
Lies buried in a river, driving its long skeletal frame across spliced boundaries, hidden in the vellum of summer, deep in this tissue and crust. under the pious fires of the city, standing half full of visible darkness or light, or neither. This place, a paper mache model collapsing into plated grey of printed walls, fresco bulleted, dappled with blood and graffiti. Voice crawls in the pinholes and dust of their standing. Maybe voice is our grit in the low hum of a mid-afternoon adapting the broken harmonica in rubble.
Funny that the Chinese spinach has no known origin despite its name. This weed that took over continents and colonies, this hollowness sprouting along rivers waiting to be steeped in oyster sauce. In Southeast Asia, we say kangkong. In the school bus, I recognize the sizzling of Hokkien and Malay slurs. Their sodium stench stains my tofu skin even after hours of scrubbing. In bed, I bend over to a boy who refuses to finish his vegetables. He plucks tender shoots off his plate, forms tablecloth trash pile. He is a spice I have learned to swallow, his grease simmering inside. I smell nothing about my childhood in him.
Consecrated. His arm around her at some time during the 60s, judging by the beehive hair. He smiles proudly in front of a wall of green, turned grayscale. She squints from the setting sun, smiles in a short-sleeved turtleneck, jumper and skirt. Peeling wall, yellow. Just shake it to get the words out. Wallpaper. Jar. Pam and Roy, back garden, 1962. A thing offered, a gift, or a contribution. Product for sale, for church or shrine, for temple, for altar. Offering, 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 offering.
I print out a form. The columns fail to display the elusive signatory. I print it out again, correcting margins. The corrected margins are not correct. The third copy is flushed out from the aged printed crypts deflationary. That is relief cut short by the noticing of fine print. Something about a condition that takes 4 minutes or an eternity to ponder over.
You may want to photograph it, especially if you will not be passing this way again. If you are unable to see deer yourself, the part may be taken from someone else's photograph, although this will make a thinner deer. Write down words. Write words about the deer part, about the place, about what else was there, about how it affected you, about the time, about the impression. Separate the raw words into categories. You may also use short phrases, although these are more difficult to fold and require more rules. You may also use a plant or bird identification book. You may also use headings to help in your classification.
I have very small hands, but not as small as the blades that reside in this simple navy box. It has been worn down severally over the years, I can imagine. The box is dislodged, its jaw dislocated, held together by the weak will of cellophane and a rubber band, the colour of building sand.
So, departure, arrival. Green lanes and black lines on the edge of the leaden beyond. Low and flat, a long row of anything, everything. The sky a quarrel of angry red lines, spiders' webs of coarse air writhing from the ditches. On the east wind, a bitter sleet rattling onto the open marshes. A few faces hurried to glowing, a hunt against us through gates and dikes and spare grass. We phantoms cried and vanished again.
398. I lived between 14 military bases, and so much pain the bombs would weep pumpkin pit seed messages denoting time, the pit-boy counting units of radiation, the radar and nautical investigation. The commons are here, at the beginnings of water. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get a black pen. The rude word for blacken is the same word for bleak, bleach, and total whiteness. Some of our most sacred text genre doesn't really apply. When I write, says Mary Ruefle in Madness, Rack and Honey, My gender becomes genre. To some of our most sacred texts, genre doesn't really apply. It sails off the radar out of algorithmic fidelity. To be untrackably genred, untrackably gendered, is to live untargetably as in things, as the mirrors are blackened and bleached, so absorption voids the image. This is still an archive and looking for a place to hide. Perhaps I should not be writing a poetics of pips that knows how long I have left to plant or search for soil, a kinship to acknowledge the land and the possibility for grounding, whether it will emerge or look back in laughter or cold water. I have no interest in weapons or their complicity. I am love hungry. I want to reply to you once I understand where the light is coming from. Blur with me. I have failed the song of living. Blue with me. I finished the poem and the next day my brother died, St. Peter Gizzi on day 395, the 29th of January 2021.